This video was brought to you by my supporters on Ko-fi. Hello, welcome. I feel like I just want to make different videos besides from vlogs, and I feel like as an art channel, I'm not showing y'all my drawing process as much as other art channels do. So here I am doing just that, and we're just gonna be talking about hair. I just have lots of thoughts about hair and black hair in general, and I just wanted to share some of my thoughts as I was working on this. Ta-da! Yes, it is my Afro Pride collection. I shared this in my community tab if you keep up with that, and I've been updating y'all on my process of creating these pins throughout my community tab and on Instagram, and I finally have all pins in my hand, as you can see here. I'm really proud of these pins. These started off as just sticker ideas, but I finally got them made into 2.5-inch acrylic pins. They are rainbow, holographic, nice and shiny, and I'm just very proud of how they came out, and I'm always really excited to launch more original art. This is my latest collection of original art that I'm adding to my merch shop, and I just am really proud of how it turned out. These are really special to me because it's been a long time of me, and by long time I just mean like a little over a year, going to conventions and seeing a bunch of really pretty queer representational art, but just not seeing that really cater towards black consumers or just anyone brown. Representative art is fun, and it's always cool to see yourself in a piece, and so I wanted to create that for myself. So I came out with this collection, and they first started off as stickers, and I thought they'd be really nice pins just because of how I went about doing their hair. The hair was really what I wanted to focus on. I love drawing hair. I feel like I'm still not that good at drawing certain textures, but I just practice because I like to. And being an artist who is active online is really interesting. It's really interesting to be able to get other people's perspectives on different drawing techniques and how to depict different types of people. And one thing that I've just seen so much discourse about is hair, especially this year with the animations that have come out. I mean, I'm mainly speaking of Spider-Man, and just participating in fan art that was really relevant at the time. It was an eye-opening experience. Usually I'm seeing the aftermath of fandoms getting an explosion of fan art. I'm very late, not up to date with things that drop, but Spider-Man is something that I'm really into, so I wanted to make my own fan art as well. And while I haven't even finished half of the fan art that I actually plan on creating, I notice how hair is always going to be so controversial, and I think more artists from different backgrounds need to have discussions about how it's just so common to see people draw characters that are supposed to be black but just not given any black features. And you know, when I was in school, I am someone who was trained in school and who also is self-taught, so I just see a lack of I don't know, diversity. I feel like that phrase has been played by bad actors, and so it almost feels empty when I say it. But when I trained in school to learn how to draw different types of bodies and actually paint skin tones, learning these techniques, we were never learning them in the context of depicting black people or brown people with brown skin and textured hair or highly textured hair. I just feel like I put a lot of emphasis on my character's hair, and hair is important to me. It's always been an important part of my life. I think a lot of Black people can understand. For context, I am Haitian American, and so that informs my cultural background. And having type 4 hair has been tumultuous, I would say. it's never been something that's just neutral. Like, hair was never just hair. Even if I wanted it to be something that wasn't so important in how I was socialized, I couldn't really escape my hair for a long time. My hair almost felt like a prison because of the ideals that I tried to strive for that I couldn't reach, because my hair just is a certain texture and it doesn't do certain things. It does a lot of other things, but it didn't do the things that fit within the beauty standards that, that I grew up in. Anyways, I don't know. I put a lot of emphasis on drawing my character's hair and drawing all types of hair. Sometimes I wish hair was just hair, but because of the history of, the country that I live in now, which is the US, not America, the United States, and because of my Haitian background and being Black, my hair has never had the chance to just be my hair. For the folks who probably aren't resonating with this, which is fine, I mean that my hair is always going to be seen as a signifier for how I view myself and, how I align to respectability politics. It will always be seen as a marker for how I value my Blackness. It will always be seen as kind of a general marker for how feminine I am. Basically, the way people react to my hair can be so extreme. I feel like people feel the need to project their feelings and their politics onto my hair, and often people's reaction to my hair tells me a lot more about them than it actually does about me. It took a very, very, very long time for me to learn how to love my hair, and I still struggle with that today. For a while, there was a portion of the natural hair community that made me feel like maybe I was putting too much emphasis on my hair. Maybe I cared too much about my hair. Maybe I was making a big deal out of how I wore my hair, the texture of it. But people really do treat you very differently depending on, or people at least treated me very differently depending on how I wore my hair. And that's still true to this day. And I also have a really complex relationship with hair. I also mentioned earlier how my hair was often felt like a signifier of my femininity, and that's something that, I learned growing up. Beautiful women had long, full, luscious hair, and respectable women had less kinky, straighter, more manageable, huge quotation marks, type of hair. Striving for straighter, longer, fuller hair, emphasis on longer and straighter, because the longer your hair was, the more feminine it is. And that's something that's common across many different cultures. But me striving for those attributes was not a preference. It felt like I needed to do that in order to get by. Having straighter hair, it didn't feel like a choice. It felt like if I wanted to be treated a certain way, it had to be like this. I really feel like I had a hard time growing up and fitting into what girls are supposed to do, or really fitting into the gender binary. That was something that I always felt like I was outside of, being the darkest girl usually in the room and being the one with the shortest hair, because Afro hair doesn't really grow down, it grows up. Having the features that are least attributed with beautiful or femininity. My hair has been a quintessential element in my self-discovery and my queerness. I don't know if that statement even fucking makes sense, but the real ones know what I mean. So when I choose certain things to draw, sometimes they are rooted in things that are very tied to my identity, and sometimes they're not. I used to watch so much hair content when I was younger because I wanted to find like the best ways to get my hair to lay flat, to lay straight, the best flat irons to use, the best products to use. When I went natural, still looking for the best products for the most curl definition, to get the most length retention. Like, even in me going natural, there were still ways that I was holding on to these beauty standards that are informed by white supremacist ideals, things that just don't mesh with how my hair just actually operates. It naturally shrinks up when it's dry, and it is longer when it's wet. And that's just how it operates. And the more I try to fight that, the more my hair resists and the more damage I incur. And the less I like my hair. Learning how to like my hair as is an ongoing journey. Like it's never gonna end. Listen, as long as we live under all the isms, it's never gonna go away. I still struggle with things like traction alopecia, which is something that I don't feel fully comfortable talking about, which is why I always dance around the subject, because I'm still very not comfortable talking about that. And maybe I just don't come across a lot of other people who do talk about it publicly, or at least on the internet. So maybe the more I see that, it's not as though I seek it out. It's kind of just something I live with. I don't know, something I notice when people draw Black characters, a lot of us tend to lean towards hair that is more defined, looser hair textures, curlier hair textures. And a part of me just wants to not do that as much. I want to make hair look more visibly 4C, having that type of texture that isn't necessarily defined. Maybe I should say that, because 4C doesn't necessarily mean undefined. Just undefined kinky hair that is not not respectable, I guess. A lot of what is seen as acceptable is still informed by respectability politics and white supremacy, even within natural hair. So it's just like, I'm seeing that being reflected in the artwork is what I'm trying to say. Wow, that was a lot of words for no reason. It can be alarming. To see that, especially to see that in my work too. So that's something that I just want to be intentional about. I figure, let me actually talk about these things. I feel uncomfortable when I look at my work and I see that there may be a bias there. And I want to be able to challenge myself and really combat that. It's one thing to talk about it, but let me actually be about it, which is why I'm putting this video out, which, I hope I don't embarrass myself. I hope I don't embarrass Future Mojo, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. This video isn't going to be clear cut and concise. These are just a lot of my thoughts that I'm just regurgitating, thoughts that I've just ruminated on for a long time. Anyways, those are my thoughts, and I think I'm gonna end the video. So yeah, if you like the video, like the video. I mean, I never tell y'all to do that, but do it. It helps. It actually does help. When YouTubers say that liking the video and just sharing it actually helps, they're not lying. Just click the button, just click it. Ooh, my elbow. If you want to further support the channel, I got a Ko-fi page. There are no sub minimums. I kind of got rid of my sub tiers. So if you want to throw in a little bit of money into my piggy bank to, help me in my art endeavors, you can do that over there. But no pressure. No pressure. The economy sucks. Really bad. But also tell me your thoughts. Black femmes, I'm very interested in what y'all got to say. Maybe I feel like I didn't go that in depth talking about hair. Give me your thoughts on, how you feel you are in your, hair acceptance journey, or if you're on one, or maybe you feel like you've reached the conclusion of yours. Where you at? I'm curious. Peace out. I'm done. All my pins will be made available in my Etsy shop on the date listed in the description box and on screen. Definitely check out my monthly vlogs if you want to see me in the trenches while I'm creating all this stuff. Next vlog coming up is my April vlog. I'm almost halfway through that, so that should be coming out in the next week or two. And thank you to all my supporters on Ko-fi who have made it possible for me to go through said trenches.